Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live broadcast. I am just making sure that our stream is working here. Bear with me for 1 second. So good to see all of you tonight. And there we are. Yay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, tonight is the first of a very special series that we are starting because I know you guys have a million questions and you want them answered. And this is a series that is specifically for all the pumping moms, all the breastfeeding moms out there, for all the expecting moms, okay, who are planning to breastfeed and want to know all the best tips and advice that I have for you to get ready, to get started, to really get the most out of everything that you're doing. I'm sorry, I'm setting up my camera here because sometimes it's hard to see until I go live. So welcome, and I am excited to see you all, and I see you all jumping into the chat right now. I'm going to start my own chat so I can see you. There you are. Excellent. Hi, everyone. Okay, so tonight I've got a lot to go over with you, and I'm going to get right to it. First, before we even get started, we have so many new people who have joined our page, who are following, who are seeing this on Facebook. You may just be coming across this tonight or today, and I want to give you a moment where I can just introduce myself for any of you guys who don't know me, who haven't watched before. My name is Sherry Creso, and I am a registered nurse, a certified nurse midwife. I've delivered over 600 babies and taken care of thousands of moms over the past 25 years. I'm also an international board certified lactation consultant. I've had a retail store and learning center for over 12 years where I sold these products. I sold pumps, I sold products for breastfeeding and everything for pregnancy, and taught lots and lots of moms and dads classes on pregnancy, on childbirth, on breastfeeding, on baby care. And I've been doing it now here on the internet with all of you guys to be able to give you this great information regardless of our location, regardless of how far away you are from me. It doesn't matter. With this amazing technology, I get to come into your living rooms or your kitchens or your nursery, wherever you happen to be sitting. I'm in my family room here on my comfy couch, and talk to you all every single week and sometimes several times a week. But the best thing that I can think of is just to be able to give you my knowledge so that you guys make the most informed decisions when it comes to your babies, to your choices, and especially when it comes to breastfeeding, which is such a passion of mine and for so many of you. I want to, thank you. Okay, so I'm seeing everybody in the chat room, and I get a little distracted because I get so excited to see all these amazing mamas that I know here in the chat, and you guys are excited. Tonight's going to be extra special because I got a couple surprises. One is, and some of them are, I've been posting about, so they may not be surprises, but they're great. We're going to have some great prizes tonight, including the Room and a Nursing Wear nursing and tank and bra set, which I'm going to show you. There's one right behind me. And also we're giving away one of the Evenflo Feeding Advanced Double Electric Breast Pumps. My earring just fell off right in the middle, so hold on 1 second. An Evenflo Feeding Advanced Double Electric Pump for someone here tonight. Yay! Can I get some hearts for two fantastic prizes? And we also have Evenflo Feeding in the house with us tonight, and hopefully they'll be saying hi in a moment because I know they're all coming. I've got Joe, my partner, my husband over in the other room. Hi, Joe. Hi. There's Joe. And tonight we're going to go over best practices when it comes to choosing your breast pump, how to use your breast pump, what all about your breast pump, everything you need to know, and some of the most important topics that come up week after week when we discuss breast milk, volume of breast milk, how to get the most out of your breast pump, all of those different things, what to look for. So I hope you guys are excited. Is everybody excited? You guys excited? Yeah, I'm super excited. Okay, so and I have a very special guest that's going to join us a little bit later in the evening. Okay, she's going to come in and she's going to teach us all about how to navigate the world of insurance and getting your pump through your insurance, because I know that it can be so complicated, and anything when it comes to your insurance is complicated, let's face it. But she's going to really help us to understand better what to do, how to go about it, so that you get the one that you want, so that you really get the pump that you want, that you're making the choices for yourself, just like everything else when it comes to you and your baby. Okay, so super excited, and I'll introduce her in a little while. But what I'm going to do is I have my top 5 categories. Like when I tried to think about like what are the best tips. Now this doesn't mean that it's all the tips or that it's everything I could possibly say about pumping, okay? Because that's going to take many episodes of this, and we're going to do a series, and I'm going to cover it. So if I don't get to your question, and you had a lot of questions, okay? I was looking and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, here's questions from everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, and so what I did was I do read them all. I read them all. I save them all. And what I try to do is really compile what are the main topics that you guys want to know about so that I can cover them for you and answer as many people as we possibly can. If tonight your question doesn't get answered, it will on some future episodes, and we'll be doing them very frequently. Okay, so keep posting them, and then I will try to answer some on my page as well. All right, so first of all, before we even keep going here, I just want to get a little roll call in the audience. Let me know, I want to know, are you pregnant? Are you breastfeeding now? How old is your baby? Are you pumping? Are you exclusively pumping? Just to get an idea of where everybody's at in this conversation. And hopefully you all tagged and shared this with your expecting mama friends as I instructed, okay? Because this is going to be one of those first episodes here where it's going to be really important. They're all going to be important for expecting moms. So I want to know, where are you guys at? Where are you tonight? Are you ready to have your baby? I have a few of you guys that I know are about to deliver, and some of you guys who've been breastfeeding and having so much great success from, that have been telling me and writing to me. So, and there's nothing better than to hear from each of you. And I just saw Evenflo Feeding. Hi guys, hi. So happy to have you here. Yay. Okay. Oh, exclusively pumping. Somebody has twins. Yay. Okay. 3 months old. Okay. We got everybody tonight. And that's great because no matter what stage you're at this point, the information I'm going to give you tonight is definitely going to help. So, okay, let's get started. The first thing, and this is something I know I cover this often, but there's always someone new, and there's always like this aha of like, I didn't know that. And some of you guys will know the answer, and I want you to chime in if you know the answer to these questions, okay? But what do you look for? So you're getting a breast pump. You're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to get one of these things. I know that, that's going to be important because I'm going back to work, or, I want to make sure that I can pump some milk into a bottle because I want to breastfeed as long as possible. And this is going to be one of the tools that's going to help me do that. But what do I look for? Do I just go based on like the bag? Like, what do I know? Is it just, how do I figure out which one that I should choose? And you guys sometimes, a lot of you guys know the answer to this question, but I've narrowed it down to 3 things, okay, that I think are the most important qualities or features on a breast pump that you want to look for when you're choosing one, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about the Evenflo Feeding pump. They're in the house tonight. This is the prize we're giving away, but more than that. I've been partnered with Evenflo Feeding for many, many years, and the reason I did that is because they reached out to me, I don't even know, it's been like 5-6 years already, when they were first in the development of the amazing advanced double electric pump. And they said, Sherry, with all your experience, we'd love to get your input onto this pump before we actually complete it. Look at it. Tell us what you would want. Tell us what you look for in a breast pump. What do you tell your pregnant and expecting moms and your breastfeeding moms to look for in a pump? And there really wasn't one pump out there that had all the features included and like a complete package. And I really believe that this pump really is the complete package. So yes, thank you, Kate. Hearts for Evenflo Feeding, okay? Because what amazing people to really care so much to make sure that they're bringing you the very best stuff. And, I'm not talking about just me being involved. I'm talking about the qualities of the pump. So let's go through some of the qualities because these are obviously the ones that I look for. One of the number one features, okay, and this is how you would stand there and like compare them side by side. Like literally, you're looking at pumps. These three things you look at and you compare. First thing is that the pump has multiple flange sizes, okay? What is a multiple flange size? Now, lots of people don't even realize that these little things, sorry, my hand's in the way. I'm about to just move the camera a little bit. I think that's better. Okay. See this part here? That's the part that goes up against the breast, all right? And that hole in the middle, that little hole in the middle, they come in different sizes. And that's how you determine what size the flange is. Now, that has to do with how your nipple fits inside that hole. And not all nipples are going to fit in the same hole comfortably, okay? Is this important? It's super important because if the hole doesn't fit your nipple, if it's too small or if it's too big, you are not going to have comfort. First of all, you'll be uncomfortable while you're pumping. And second of all, you will not be able to express milk as efficiently and as effectively as you can. That means that either it's going to take a lot longer than it should, and inevitably you're not going to get out all the milk. These are important things, and we're going to get to that in a few of why that's important as we go through some of the flange sizing. But a pump that has multiple flange sizes, the Evenflo Feeding has 3 different sizes that come included with the pump. Now, there are pumps out there that that do have different size flanges. They're just sold separately. And here's the issue I have with them being sold separately. It's not like a bra where you can have someone size it. That means that you can't tell before you start using it really what size you need. And for so many expecting mamas, they don't even know it comes in different sizes. So when they see 3 different ones inside the box, even in the most basic models, it not only gives them the opportunity to try out different sizes to see what works best for them, but it also tells them they come in different sizes. So it's part of the education right there is knowing that they come in different sizes and having it, okay? Evenflo Feeding also has this nice soft silicone flange. I don't know if you can see this, okay? It is soft and it's cushiony, and it really feels very comfortable. It creates like an air cushion behind the pump, and that's a really, moms who use this say this is super, super comfortable, and that's how you get the different sizes. Yeah, see, someone's saying they had no idea, and I've talked about this before, but see, look how important that is. So that's the number one. That's multiple flange sizes. Number two of features to look for in your breast pump. The number 2 thing is look for a pump that has individual speed and suction controls, okay? That means you're controlling it yourself. It's not just a button that you push and it changes modes, although I understand why those are like that because it can be confusing for moms, but with a little bit of education and knowledge and understanding of what you're trying to accomplish with those speed and suction dials, you can do that and customize it so you'll actually get all the milk out or as much as possible and in the shortest amount of time, all right? Again, we're gonna get into that in a few minutes, but it really, it's one of the most important things is having that individual speed and suction dials on the pump. Third thing, and I know you guys know the answer to this. Some of you guys can go ahead and say it right there in the chat room. There's one more thing I really want you to look at, and it probably should be number 1 instead of number 3. Let's move it up to the top. It should be number 1. It should be the first question you ask on any breast pump that you're about to purchase, order, use, whatever, okay? And that is the pump an open or is it a closed system? Okay, you guys know what an open and a closed system is? I have a little visual I'm going to show you, okay? But a difference between an open and a closed system means that either the pump is open so this goes on your breast, the milk's flowing down into the bottle, okay? And then this is the tube that is sucking air in the direction of your pump. If you're sucking air and there's an opening like this plugged right behind where the milk is flowing and you're getting any condensation, moisture, milk sucked into this tube, that's an open system, okay? And that means that it is very hard to clean this. You're not going to be able to scrub it. So you can grow mold, bacteria, inside your tube, and then that can actually get sucked all the way back into your motor, which can never be cleaned. And so to me, it's one of the most important things because you want to block anything from getting into your tube. It makes cleaning easier and it's much safer, okay? So that your milk is always protected, that you can use this pump the entire time that you're breastfeeding and you know it's safe. With the closed system, you basically just take this off and you're washing your parts versus having to wash your tubes. Okay. And I know there's some of you out there right now that are going, I got to wash those tubes all the time. And they're really, they're kind of gross. And I mean, I remember when I had my store and I'd have people come in from using an open system and they'd have these black tubes. Seriously, okay, black tubes, and they'd say, how do I clean this? And I'd say, you don't clean that, you throw that away, you need new tubes. And they'd have to keep replacing tubes. You don't do that with an open system. The instructions are, you don't wash the tubing because you actually don't want to get any water inside of it. I'm going to show you a little bit of a visual here. Hold on while I work my screen. Okay, I'm learning the technology for myself here, but I'm doing quite well, I have to say. Here is a visual of an open and a closed system side by side, so you can really see this. Okay, so there's the little diaphragm that goes inside, and that's the thing that blocks the milk from actually getting into the tube. And you can see that real close up. It's a vacuum system, so that little diaphragm is going to go up and down. Here's an example of an open system where it's plugged right behind the flange and where the milk is flowing. Okay, and as you can see side by side, one side on the left, okay, is the closed system where it's a vacuum system and nothing can enter your tube. The one on the right actually is an open system. And so milk can splash or even get sucked into that tube, especially if you have a heavy letdown where the milk really flows hard right in the beginning, okay? And if it flows hard in the beginning, I'm trying to get rid of this. Let's see if I can get the screen to stop sharing. No. Hold on. See, technology. All right. I can. Hold on, and I think you can't hear me if I do this. So how do I get rid of this? Okay. All right, hold on, everybody. I promise I'm going to figure this out for you. Hold on. Screen share. Stop sharing. I can't get rid of it. All right. Joe, I need some support here. I cannot get. Can you guys still hear me though? Yeah. They can still hear me. As long as I keep my finger on this, I think they can still hear me. But I cannot. All right, let's see if I do that. All right. Am I back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me now? Okay, good. Sorry about that. I'm getting used to this new technology. So we were streaming live on Facebook before, and now I added this whole third dimension, which is allowing me to give you videos, which is great. Did you guys love the videos? Did you love the videos? And it also allows me to bring in guests, but I'm still learning, and sometimes technology doesn't work perfectly. So there you go. But you got the idea of an open and closed system, which I think is super important. Did everybody, yeah, okay. Did you guys know that? Is that something, was that cool to see, to be able to see the difference? Yeah. So that's the first thing. And I want you to know that that is actually how we're going to enter the giveaway tonight for the pump. I want you to tell me all about what your favorite features are, what you learned about it. If you go ahead and comment in the chat room tonight what your favorite features about the Evenflo Feeding pump are, then someone's going to win based on those comments, okay? So you can do that throughout the entire chat. Let's move on to number 2 because I can keep going here, all right? Number 2, making sure that you know how to use your pump. So that's great. So you've got these flanges. That's great. You got these, speed and suction controls, but how do you use them to make sure that you're getting the most out of it, okay? Number 1 thing is please make sure that when you get your pump, which you will probably get while you're expecting, that you take it out of the box, that you play with it, that you read the instructions fully. Don't throw out all those little pieces of paper, okay? Hold on to the papers and read them, especially with the Evenflo Feeding. We've included so many great things, but whatever pump you get, it should be something that you should touch, feel, clean, and get ready for when you come home with the baby. That doesn't mean that you're going right back to work, but you never know when you're going to need it, and you may need it in those early days. So have your pump ready to go. That's number 1, okay? Your pump is a machine, okay? Let's face it, it's not the baby. The baby knows what to do. Their mouths are designed to breastfeed. Their instincts and their reflexes are all there to breastfeed, to maximize milk expression, to stimulate the nipple, to stimulate your body to let down or have a milk expression. That's all the baby does. You don't even need to know. The baby usually knows what to do, okay? With the pump, you need to know how to simulate what your baby is doing, okay? So having the right flange size, that's number 1, right? Having the right flange size, and then properly using your controls. And how do you do that? Now, this is something that I've gone over before, but it's so critical. And every time I talk about it, moms will say to me, I got off the live stream and I immediately went and tried what you said with my pump. And oh my God, this was exactly why I wasn't getting enough milk. So I'm going to talk to you for a moment on how to use your speed and suction controls. And I'm going to take the flanges off here. Any pump that you have that has this individual speed and suction will work this way, okay? Now, what I'm trying to say here is that when you first start to pump or nurse, let's talk about nursing for a second. When you're breastfeeding the baby will suck on the nipple. The suckling, the nipple stimulation from the baby sucking will stimulate oxytocin release in your brain that then goes back to the breast to get the milk to let down or get a milk expression. That means that you start to see milk, okay? The oxytocin, which is the hormone, and it's the same hormone, by the way, that causes contractions in labor, okay? Same hormone, causes the little muscles around the milk ducts to contract and get the milk to come out. So it's not about sucking the milk out as hard as you can. It is really about stimulating that oxytocin release to get the milk release or the letdown, okay, it's the same word, to get the milk to start flowing, right? How do you start that to happen? Well, initially, when the baby first starts to suck, they'll suck really quick and gently. And you'll see that. You put the baby on, it's kind of a fast, gentle suction. And what they're doing is they're stimulating the milk to release. You can do that with your pump. And when you initially put your pump on, that's what you want to do, is you want to turn your speed all the way up. So it's fast, okay? And keep your suction low. Put the pump on. And even though you might feel like, I'm hardly even feeling this, you're not supposed to feel a lot of suction at that point. You're supposed to feel the stimulation. Keep your pump on. Do it at that high speed, low suction until you start to see a milk release or a letdown. And that means that the milk starts to drip or come out of the breast, okay? Once that happens, you have stimulated that letdown. Now what you do is you turn your speed down, maybe halfway down. It doesn't have to be all the way down, but you turn it down so it starts to go slower. And you turn your suction level up to the point where you can feel it, but you're not feeling pain. You should not be feeling pain when you're pumping. And this is a mistake that a lot of mamas make, okay, is you turn the suction dial all the way up and think, well, now I can really feel it. Now I'm really going to suck that milk out. And actually pain can inhibit the milk release so that you can really struggle to get all the milk out or more of the milk out when you're in pain. So just doing enough where you feel it If the flange is fitting right, you should not be in pain, and enough where you can feel the suction, but you're not uncomfortable, okay? You leave it there. You allow the milk to express, okay? Now, all you guys who are pumping know what I'm talking about. The milk starts to flow. The milk is flowing. The milk is flowing. And then at one point, okay, the milk starts to slow down, and you think, that's it, okay? I know there's more. I can feel it. My breasts still feel kind of full. I know there's still more milk in there. Why can't I get the rest out, okay? If you guys have experienced this, I want to see some hearts flying across the screen right now. I want to know that you are following me along right here, because I'm moving kind of fast, but the information is super important. So let's see some hearts flying across the screen. You know how much I love the love, okay? I love the love. It keeps me talking. If you want me to keep talking, start giving me some hearts, okay? Here you go. Yay. Hearts, smiley faces, thumbs up. I'll take all of it. Just want to see your interaction. All right, great. Now the milk slows down. What do? You don't start from the beginning again, okay? And this is where having a two-stage or two-phase is not going to be very beneficial to stimulate that second milk release or the third milk release or the fourth milk release. All those letdowns, you can have multiple letdowns during one pumping session. And in fact, when you're breastfeeding, you do have multiple milk releases and letdowns, okay? You just don't see it. The baby's doing it. You're kind of like, yeah, it's working, okay? With the pump, you need to do it yourself. So what I encourage you to do at that point to stimulate that second milk release is wherever your suction was turned up to, you leave it there. You don't ever touch your suction again. You leave it where it is. But your speed dial is where you're working with. You leave your suction and you turn your speed all the way back up again. Okay, so now you're just sucking faster, same intensity, but just faster again, until you see the milk start to drip and you've just stimulated a second release, a second letdown, okay? As soon as that milk starts to drip again, starts to flow again, you turn your speed back down, you're back to expressing. Okay, and I see someone saying that they've never felt the letdown, and this is why we're using words, not just letdown, because letdown may not be something that you feel, but milk release is something that you will see. Okay, so some people do feel the letdown. They'll feel a tingling sensation. They'll feel all different things, or they'll feel nothing. When I had my milk letdowns, I used to get this like wave of like dizziness or nausea for a second. It was the hormone effect. It was the hormone release that was happening, and I would feel it, and then it would subside, and then I would see my milk start to let down. How do you feel your letdown? I want to hear you guys in the chat room. Do you feel your letdown? Do you actually notice the letdown, or is it just something that you see the milk? Usually don't. Okay, so if you feel let down, great. If not, it doesn't matter. As long as you're seeing milk come out, that is the goal. All right. So up and down with the speed. Let's just say that one more time. First let down, speed up, suction down. Okay. Milk starts to flow, turn the speed down, turn the suction up. Milk starts to stop, leave your suction where it is, turn your speed up till you see the milk start to flow again, and then turn your speed back down until you're ready to do it all over again. Repeat and repeat until you have expressed as much milk as possible out of the breast, okay? One of the things that you want to keep in mind is that, as I was saying before, oxytocin is the thing we're after, okay? That's what we're trying to do, is to stimulate what the baby does when the baby's sucking. One of the best times to pump your breast, and that's why, is when you're nursing on one side. So you have the baby latched to one side. If you put your pump on the other side, you're gonna get that letdown pretty easily because the baby's stimulating oxytocin and it's going to both sides, okay? That brings up my Women in Nursing Wear tank and bra set that we are, and someone's going to win the whole set, a set of the tank and the bra. And what's so great about this is you can use your pump, okay, and it actually goes into the hole here, so you can be pumping with it. And then the other side opens up, and you can breastfeed on one side while you're pumping on the other. So this is both a pumping and a nursing bra. And I love this. You guys know, a couple weeks ago we talked about this. I love this because it really lets you do both at the same time. It's very supportive. And, having a hands-free, what it is, it's a hands-free tank and bra, and having some kind of a hands-free garment is going to make life a lot easier so that you can relax while you're pumping, and one that's going to actually help to position it, which this one does. It doesn't have the holes inside the tank, so that means that it's going to help to position it in the right spot. Everybody's nipples are in a different place, so you need to be able to move it around, and this one really does. You can move it out or in and reposition it. So I want to hear why you love the Room in a Nursing Wear top, and someone else. We're going to have two winners. One person's going to win the pump and one person's going to win the set. And so you can go ahead and tell me right now why you need the nursing pumping set, because they really do go together with the pump. And they work great together. So go ahead and tell me, okay? Yay, yay, hearts. Let's do some hearts as we move on to number 3. Hearts as we move on to number 3, okay? I have my notes here because we got a lot to cover. Are you guys doing well? Are you guys doing well there? Lots of comments, so many great people. I'm so excited to see all of you here. Okay, number 3. Have realistic expectations out of your pumping experience, okay? This is super important because I think so many times I answer questions that are really not the question. The answer is not really for the question that you're asking, because what you're asking is actually you're experiencing something very normal, thinking that it's abnormal and thinking you need to do something different when you actually don't. And what do I mean by that, okay? First of all, like we said, the pump is a machine. It's not going to ever get out the same amount as your baby, okay? The baby is designed for this. To have the expectation that your pump will be just as easy as putting your baby on, it just isn't, okay? Thank God we have breast pumps, because so many of us, especially here in the US, we need to work, or we want to work, or we're continuing to work, and we want to leave our babies sometimes even if we're not working. It gives us that ability to continue to breastfeed and keep giving breast milk. So a pump is a great thing, but let's face it, it's never going to be exactly as the baby, okay? So you need to get used to it, and you may need to pump more frequently even than your baby is nursing to get out more of the milk. And when moms ask me, should I do it for longer? Should I wait, should I wait 4 hours, 5 hours, then empty the breast when it feels fuller? My answer is no. I'd rather see you do a shorter pumping session, get less milk out, and do it more frequently than to wait for that milk to accumulate. Wait till you're really full and then try to get a lot of milk out at one time. What happens is your breast milk is fluctuating and producing and determining how much you make based on supply and demand. And when you allow your breasts to really fill up, it gives a signal to your brain to make less. Okay, so it's kind of counterproductive. Waiting for the breast to fill up will actually make, over time, okay, will have you make less at each feeding. If you pump more frequently and you're draining the breast, but you're not getting as much, okay, but you're doing it more frequently and keeping the breast empty all the time, it's actually signaling your brain to make more, okay? So we want to make the right amount for the baby. If the baby's eating when you're gone every 3 or 4 hours, with the bottle, which can happen, I would try to do more frequent feedings and less of it. But say your baby's eating every 3 hours and you're not feeling like you can get all the milk out, pumping every 2 and doing a little bit less and adding it all together is going to be much better for you than waiting 4 or 5 hours before you pump again. Okay, so I hope that's clear for you. Waiting for your breast to be full is not the answer. Okay. Now, I see Heather here saying she only gets to pump once at work. This is a problem, okay? If you're really not getting the time to pump, maybe what you need to do is look at how long it's taking you to do the pumping. Because if you were more efficient and you knew how to use your dials, and you knew how to stimulate that letdown, or if you were doing shorter, more frequent pumping sessions, you may have more opportunity to stop, do a quick pumping, maybe 5-10 minutes, really, you could do it that quickly if you were just doing little pumpings and get more out, and it would actually overall be easier for you. Now, if you really can't do that, first of all, talk to your employer because they should be giving you pumping breaks. That's the law, okay? And then on top of that, you can do things like pumping right before you get to work or right before you start, and then right as you're done working, and so that you can get more in during the day. That'll be for another pumping. We'll do that on part 2 or part 3, okay? We will get to that, but I understand the concern. I do understand the concern. All right, let's talk for a minute about, how much milk do you need? You don't need a ton of extra milk, okay? And this is where you don't want to underpump where you're not making enough, but you also don't want to overpump. So just in case, then all of a sudden you're completely oversupplied, you end up with a breast infection and, all kinds of other things. You want to get to right where your baby's eating. But that brings up a whole other question of how much does the baby actually eat, okay? This is something that if the baby was at the breast, you would not be paying attention to. If I said to you, your baby needs to eat 3 ounces, go feed the baby 3 ounces. How would you do that? You never would be able to do that. You wouldn't know, okay? The baby eats what the baby eats. How we know we're making enough has nothing to do with what's going in, because that's not measurable in most cases when the baby's on the breast, but what's coming out, okay? 6 to 8 wet diapers in a 24-hour period is what we're looking for, and slow weight gain, all right? So this is, and I say slow weight gain, I know you guys heard that, okay? Because I'm not expecting rapid weight gain all the time. Babies have growth spurts, again, for another night. But let's talk about how much a baby typically eats. So you're pumping, how much do you leave in the bottle? What's a good estimate? Here's a good average amount to kind of base it on for most breastfed babies. It's about 1 to 1.25 ounces per hour over the 24-hour period. Okay, so that means if the baby's eating, say, every 2 hours, we're talking about 2 to 3 ounces that the baby's usually eating. It's about 1 to 1.25 ounces, 2.5 ounces in the bottle, okay, is what you're looking at. If you calculate how many hours you'll be gone, you can kind of get a good idea of how much you should be pumping while you're gone, 1 to 1.25 ounces per hour to leave for your baby. And then pacing those feedings, okay, again, another night. That means slowing down your feedings, watching your baby, allowing your baby to control the feedings so that the baby is not overeating, okay? This amount, and this is about, this amount is, typically a new baby will eat 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period, okay? And sometimes it could be even more frequently if the baby's really young, or if they're going through a growth spurt, it could be more frequently. And it could also be less frequently as they get older and you start introducing solid foods to the baby, or the baby starts sleeping longer stretches at night. But the thing that doesn't really change is how much the baby eats at a particular feeding. And this, I know, this is one of the things that really surprises new moms, experienced moms, breastfeeding moms, non-breastfeeding moms, pumping moms. It surprises moms to know that the amount of milk that your baby consumes at a particular feeding does not really increase that much as the year goes on, okay? This is very different when it comes to breast milk. I'm going to show you the amounts per feeding, and this is just an average of basically what your babies are taking in when they're eating, okay? On day 1, all right, this is what, see this little bit, this is colostrum, okay? This isn't actually colostrum, but this is the amount of colostrum. It's about a teaspoon. This is about what they're eating on day 1 when they're eating at the breast, okay? It's very small amounts, okay? And we'll talk about colostrum again in another episode, but it's really small amounts. Your body's not making tons of milk in those early days. And so that little bit is about what they're taking in per feeding, okay? And as frequently and as often as they can. This is day 3, and it's about a 1/2 ounce. It's just as your milk is starting to really come in. This is what they eat at the breast around day 3 of life. Okay, this is about it. So when you're thinking, oh my God, they need to eat 2 ounces, they really don't. This is what they're eating. All right, and then this right here is about 1.5, 2 ounces. This is about what they eat on day 10. All right, so now we're about a week and a half of age. This is what they're eating per feeding. Okay, it's really not large volumes of food. As time progresses, the baby will work up to around 3 ounces, sometimes 4 ounces. In this bottle here, you're seeing it in 4 ounces. Still not a lot, okay? But that's a good feeding. If you're pumping 4 ounces and giving that to your baby as breast milk, that's a really good amount of milk right there, all right? This is a normal feeding. And this is actually what they do for the remainder of the year. It doesn't change. So anytime I hear moms say to me, you know, I'm pumping 4 ounces or 5 ounces or whatever it is, 3 ounces right now, but what am I going to do when the baby's like 8 months old, 9 months old, and they need to start drinking 8 ounces, 9 ounces at a time? That doesn't happen. It does not increase. It just does not increase. So this is the amount that they're eating. And if I could leave you with one of the most important things that tonight, okay, is this visual right here of really how much a feeding is in breast milk. Breast milk changes in its composition. It changes in its calorie content and its fat content day by day, hour by hour, and over the time of the months that progress throughout the breastfeeding experience. And so volume is not increasing. Okay, let's get some hearts for that. Are you learning something new? Okay, what's the best thing I taught you tonight? Can you start putting it in there? What's something new you already learned tonight? Because we still have more. All right, we still have more, and the night is not over. We may run a little over tonight because I get so much to say. Surprise, surprise. Is anybody surprised by that? Joe's laughing in the other room because he knows. What? And we still have our guest. So don't go anywhere because we still have our guest and we still have a lot going on here. All right, so let's move on. Your pump settings, your volume. Oh my God. Okay, yes, I'm seeing you all talk about what you learned. Yay. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's move on to one of my last points here before we bring on our guest, and that is when you're choosing your breast pump, to make sure that you're choosing the right style of pump, the right kind of pump for you. If you're going back to work, you need a particular kind of pump. If you are going to be home, you might need a different kind of pump. What are the different types of pumps out there? Okay, now there are pumps that are out there and they're referred to as hospital grade pumps. What does hospital grade mean? Hospital grade means that the pump can be shared by multiple users. It was meant to be rented to you or shared by multiple users. Now, quite often what you have to remember is that the pump itself has a barrier so that it can be used and shared. The kit itself, okay, is going to be clean from person to person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a closed system. So you may still have to worry about or make sure that your tubing is clean, okay? That's a hospital grade pump. We use that very loosely in, the breastfeeding community and out there to describe also a pump that has enough settings to really stimulate letdown and to stimulate milk expression, to make sure that if you were exclusively pumping or you were pumping for a baby in a NICU, or if you needed to establish your milk supply with the pump, that we would be using one of these pumps. But the truth is that hospital grade is referring to that the pump can be used for multiple users. Some of them that are not necessarily hospital grade may still have the same number of settings and be able to do that. So it's a little bit of a confusion there. The other thing that you want to know is to make sure that you're using, if you're going back to work, that you're using you're using an everyday pump. And the Evenflo Feeding pump is an everyday use pump. That means you're pumping every day. You may be exclusively pumping, and you can use this pump to do that. But it's made for using to go back to work, to use 3, 4, 5 times a day while you're working. If you're working, you do need a double electric. That means both sides can pump at the same time. All right. And you need a double, and you need one with those multiple settings that has the right vacuum suction and speed suctions that are going to help you maximize your letdown and your milk expression. Okay, that's a everyday use pump. And then lastly, there's the occasional use pumps, and these are good for, just like what I'm saying, the occasional use where you may not be using it every day, but you're using it maybe initially when you first came home from the hospital to help express some milk with the engorgement, or you're using it because you're going out for a little while. You just want to have a nice small pump with you. This is the new, I'm going to show you right here. This is the new Evenflo Feeding single electric. It just came out, and I want to show you how nice this is. Okay, this is actually the same piece that goes on the double electric. Now you can just take this little motor, take one of your flanges with all the 6 different flange sizes, 3 that come with the pump, and extras, 3 extras sizes that don't come with the pump that you can buy, can all be attached to this little motor. It's amazing. I love this. Okay, so this is a single electric. It's an occasional use pump. It's not meant for full-time work. And then this is a manual pump right here. Okay, manual, no electricity, but very efficient when you're trying to just express that little bit of milk, especially in the beginning. I recommend having a single, like an occasional use, and also if you need to, the double electric to go back to work. Having that extra occasional pump will come in handy. And throwing one into your bag, like you got your bag for work, throwing a manual adapter or the little single electric adapter in there, just in case you ever had an issue with your pump in any style of pump, while you're at work, to have that backup is a really, really good idea. Okay. So those are the different pumps. And I'd like to know, I'm going to ask a question because I'm about to bring my guest on right now. And while I do that, I want to know, what do you wish, if you have your pump right now, what do you wish you would have known before you got your pump? What was some things that you would have known? What would have made the process easier? What would be something that you would like to have had differently now that you see different things out there? Go ahead and put that into the chat room right now. I'd like to know, what would you do differently? What do you wish you knew before now? Okay, and I'm going to bring on our guest. So let me just, she's waiting in the wings. I know she's waiting very patiently for me to finish my conversation here, which has taken a long time. And so our guest is Christina, and Christina is from a company called Better Living Now. I've actually been out to their offices. They're amazing people that actually supply breast pumps for moms, work with moms every single day. They have amazing women and men who work at the company that answer phones all day long from all over the country. They're a national medical distributor that carries the Evenflo Feeding pump and can help you to get your pump through insurance. And there are so many questions that we want to ask Christina. So I'm going to bring her on, and she's going to help us to navigate insurance pumps just a little, because this is what she does every single day. Okay, so hold on a second while I bring Christina on. And here she comes. Hi, Christina. Hi.
So yes, I'm Christina. I'm with Better Living Now Pharmacy, where we verify your insurance to get you a covered pump under your plan, and it gets delivered right to your door.
Thank you so much for being so patient tonight. I know it took me a long time I
enjoyed watching.
Are you watching in the chat room with everybody?
Yeah.
They're great, aren't they? Look at how many nice moms we have. Everybody's in there. They're excited about the information, and they've been waiting patiently to find out who my special guest was tonight. And so thank you. Give us a little more introduction. Tell us what you do every day, because I know you work directly with the moms.
Yes, so I'm actually on the phone with your insurance plans. We're calling your doctors, getting your prescriptions, and filling your orders and shipping them right to your door. So we'll do all the hard work for you. There's no reason to pull your insurance first. You give us your insurance information, and we let you know every step of the way.
That's amazing. And, I think that it's something that, it's really hard with insurance for everybody to understand it. If you're not doing it every day, it can be really, really confusing. And one of the things, I'm moving my camera so I can look directly at you. One of the things that I know that happens is, people get confused. What's my coverage? Or they don't. I'm shocked every day at how many moms don't even know that they are eligible for a free breast pump through their insurance.
Yeah, and they even actually cover additional supplies too, even milk storage bags or additional bottles, which will verify that as well. Yeah.
And you guys carry all that too, so that when moms
Yeah.
call into Better Living Now, they can order that stuff, and then you can bill insurance for all of that.
Yep, and if it's not covered, we let them know, and they could even purchase it if they'd like, and it's free shipping. And again, directly right to their door. They don't have to do any of the work.
So how would a mom actually like find out about their coverage with you? Like, what are some of the ways that they would reach out to you?
So there's 3 different ways. One, they can call into our 800 number and speak to our customer care coordinators, which the number is 800-854-5729. Or they can email in their inquiry to newbeginnings@betterlivingnow.com. Or they can go to our website at betterlivingnow.com and click enroll at the top right corner. And within 24 to 48 hours, they'll get a coverage confirmation of their choices.
That's amazing. You guys make it so easy. There's so many different ways. We actually have, Joe's going to put a link into the chat room. So to make it really easy for moms to link over and at least check it out with you guys, because you guys are really knowledgeable. I know I've been out there with you guys working in the past, doing some trainings, and I was just so impressed with your whole team of how much you really care, how much time you spend with the moms, and that's really important. It's so super, super important, because it's a time of confusion when they have so many things on their mind. This is the part where you can really make them feel like they're being taken care of.
Yeah, and our team is very well versed with all of the breast pumps and what their functions are. So we like the moms to be confident in their choice too.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when should a mom actually call you? Like, when should they do this?
They can call us as early as they would like. We encourage them to. It allows us enough time to verify their benefit. Like I said, we reach out to their doctor. They give us the information. We'll call them along the way and let them know we fax them.
Yeah.
Or if mom wants to email their prescription in, they can take a picture with their smartphone and send it to the link. We'll attach it to their account. Their doctor could even e-scribe it, but it will ship in the 3rd trimester, which shipping is only 3 to 5 business days, and we're out of New York, so it could even be sooner.
Oh, that's great, because they don't want to wait till after they deliver. They want to, like, so what you're saying is they can reach out to you as early in the pregnancy as they want, get that prescription from their OB or their midwife, and have that sent directly over to you, so it's all verified and ready to go, that when they're in their 3rd trimester, then you go ahead and ship it, so they have it, they can do everything we talked about, which is cleaning it, playing with it, making sure it's all set, or if they deliver a little early, they have it on hand.
Definitely, yeah. They'll get it up to 3 months prior. So it is, again, 3 to 5 days shipping. They're always in stock, as well as the supplies.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And one of the things that I think comes up quite often is that I've heard this, and I think, you tell me if you've heard this too, but I've heard where, like, the first thought when you think, okay, I can get my pump through insurance, is let me call my insurance company. Like, let me call my insurance company first, find out where I should be getting my pump so that I get that coverage and that I don't get stuck with a bill. And is that really the first step or the best way to take care of it?
No, I would always suggest to call us. Let us do the work for you, because they don't know everyone's contracted rate or the specific pumps. Sometimes they'll tell you a specific brand is covered, which is not necessarily true. As long as they're covered under a certain rate, we'll give them their options, and they can even get deluxe models under their rate.
Gotcha. So you're saying like that, if they go right to their insurance, they may not give you all the options of where you can get your pumps. You may not be working with the best, most qualified people like yourself. And 2, they may tell you that you need a particular brand or a model, like a single electric or an occasional use pump, when really they could get something else.
Yeah, sometimes giving you a lesser option when you can get so much more. So if you come directly to us, we'll tell you the best option and give you everything you could possibly get through your insurance.
That's awesome. And your reps are pretty well versed, I know, on all the different features that you watched me go through tonight.
Yes, we've been doing your videos as well. But our breast pump specialists will call you back, and they'll be happy to go over any and every question with you.
And so you're based in New York, but doesn't matter where they are in the country, right? They can call you. You work with most insurance companies?
Pretty much very few that we don't. And then if they want to purchase it and get reimbursed, it's up to them.
Fantastic. So they can purchase one too. So say they get one covered by the insurance and then they say, while I'm at it, I'd actually like a second pump to have one at work and one at home. They can buy them from you as well.
Yeah, and surprisingly, some insurances will even cover a second pump.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Which, if they want to inquire, we'll be happy to check for them.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. Then the other thing that I just wanted to talk about, let me see here. I had some notes. So it's really the mom's choice, and she's the one who's actually determining based on, because they're really giving a certain dollar benefit.
Yes. Well, I mean, we carry manual, electric, hospital grade, and hospital strength breast pumps. But mom is the one that calls in and chooses her pump. If their insurance only covers them for a basic model, they have the option to even upgrade to, let's say, the Evenflo Deluxe, where they would just sign a form agreeing to pay the upgrade. So that way we have it on file for their insurance. Their card will get charged beforehand and then ship out right in their third trimester. But the Evenflo Deluxe is even a very inexpensive option, and it's great for the moms on the go. It has the carry bag, the cooler, the freezer packs, everything you need. Yeah, so it's great.
And one other feature that all the Evenflo pumps have that I didn't even mention tonight is they come with both of my online classes for free. Yeah. So, I mean, that's part of the feature that, I love so much about Evenflo is that they've included my education. And when I talk about education, if you guys learned something tonight, this is like a minuscule amount of what I actually go over in the classes. Everything I talked about, I go over in these classes and so much more. And those are classes that, people buy on my website. It's $60 worth of classes that come included with your breast pump. So there's a lot of value. And I think that's one of the things that I love so much about the Evenflo Feeding brand is the brand promise that they have, which is to make really high quality products with everything that the mom needs, including the education, and do it at a price that is affordable to most moms. And in this case, is covered by most insurance plans.
It's actually the number one covered by all the plans. So really? They definitely get that. Yeah, it's our base model. It's not basic model. It's our base model. It's a great pump, and it's an advanced pump, and it also takes batteries too, which is great. So even if mom's at work, she can pump right at her desk and close the door and doesn't have to be confined to an outlet.
So awesome. So awesome. Well, someone's going to win one tonight. So somebody's very lucky tonight. And if you already have your pump, now you're going to get an extra. And if you have some friend that you want to give it to, or you just want to have two pumps, that's great. And if you don't win the pump tonight and you'd like to inquire about getting one of your pumps, whether, it's the advanced, the basic, you can call Christina at Better Living Now, and they will help you and really walk you through this. So fantastic. Anything else that you want to add for the audience here tonight? Did we cover it all?
I think so. If they have any inquiries, I just ask for them to call in with their insurance card, and we'll take care of the rest. We communicate via email, via phone, whatever's easier for them, and it's a very quick process and right to them.
So great. Let's get some hearts for Christina. This is her first time on Facebook Live with us. So I'm really grateful that you came on to explain some of this, because I know there's a lot of questioning. I get questions all the time about it. So I just want to make the whole process just so much easier. We have a page that Joe is posting here for you guys to be able to go on and, just read about it, link over, send messages there. We did put a little message place there where you can just send a message if you have a question, and get your pump. I'm also going to do one more thing tonight with you guys, and we're going to be doing this with every one of this series, is I put all the notes together, and boy, did I write, okay? So everything that I went over tonight is for you in a document that you can get, all right? And I will give you all the notes. And there's actually a very special video in there about breast pump flange sizing, okay, on a real mom. So if you would like to get the notes from tonight's episode, then you can just go over to the link. Joe's going to post the link. We're going to actually post it in the post here after we're done, and Joe can also put it up here and pin it so that you guys will know where to go to get the notes for tonight. Okay, you can go over to BLN right there. I see he has it pinned if you want to inquire, and you can also get the notes. Okay, well, thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate you coming on with us, and it was good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you later. I'm gonna unshare my screen for a minute and say good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Okay, well, hearts for Christina, and thank you so much, and thank you Evenflo Feeding, and thank you Rumen and Nursing Wear for the amazing prizes. I hope you guys all enjoyed this part one of our pumping series. I know I did, and I know I have a lot more to say, but we are ready at the hour. Okay, it's at the hour. That's how fast this goes. Yeah, I could talk all night. Yeah, I could basically talk all night. You know that. But keep sending your questions. Keep sending all everything, all your inquiries, and we will get to them. It's going to help me to design what's coming next. Okay, so if you have specific concerns, questions, whatever, I will get to them because the content will be covered. Okay. Love you guys so, so much. I will see you again this week, I am sure. I'll be announcing it soon. And I love you. Have a really good night. Mwah. Good night, everybody. Take care.